I'm in an apartment watching Keanu Reeves do John Wick live for me. It was the best, and he's rolling around on the floor. The truth is, as a director of horror movies, if you do your job right, no one should be watching the movie.
Okay. Why did you make me wear this? I am Swedish chef. Funny.
No! You're Italian! You're Chef Boyardee! Yeah.
And what are you, like a lumberjack? Is that what it?
Don't you get it? Let me see. Oh, it's a me. Oh, what is this? Oh, how do I work a microphone? Hey, John, are you talking?
Yeah,
Let me interrupt you with something not funny.
I get it. Uh-huh. Yeah.
How do I work this? What's in the light?
Yeah, very funny.
I'm Johannes.
No, yeah, I get it. Great. And what is that? Is that what you're going to wear for Eli Roth?
Of course not, Johannes. I'm going to wear this. Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, Johannes, we've had so many amazing Halloween shows. Seattle absolutely brought it. Mm-hmm. And then the Comedy Store the other night. Oh my God. Sold out, just incredible. Speaking of sold out, Johannes, I know November 6th is sold out in Chicago, but there's actually still tickets available for the 5th.
Yep.
Probably not for long when I tell everybody that we have not one, not two, but thrice the guests, Johannes. Jeremiah Watkins, Martin Phillips, and Timmy friggin' No Breaks, dude.
So you know all those three got their starts at Kill Tony, right? So why don't we just call it Kill Johnny?
We call it Kill Joe. We call it Kill Joe. Josh, that's a terrible name. So get your tickets to Kill Johnny November 5th. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to be running these three comedians through my Goblin games. They're going to be competing with you, the audience, playing Name That Tune, blind taste tests, and there'll even be a joke-off. And then, November 7th, Friday, New York City. And by New York City, I mean Brooklyn.
Yep.
I mean Brooklyn, the borough. At the Bell House Theater, Grace O'Malley. More like Grace, oh my God, she's funny. And a very special guest, which I'm going to announce right now. It's, maybe this is like their picture, like this is like their name, or switch them, or then maybe they fly over and they can go, whoa, and that's their thing. Because we have like a couple people on the hook, and we're just waiting for confirmation, but both of them, oh my God. We might even add more. I'm that crazy.
Wow.
And believe it or not, tickets still available for this one.
Oh, yeah.
So Gob Squad, Gob Tourage, New York, come out from all the boroughs. Make this our third sold out show. I can't wait to see you guys. And of course, we're bringing merch. We're going to do our free meet and greets afterwards. I'll sign anything, take any pictures.
Yeah, and I'll stand somewhere close by.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just close enough, but just far enough away.
Yeah.
So, Johannes, trick or treat.
Treat?
Good. I got one for you. His name is Eli Roth. This is my producer, Chef Boyardee. He's Italian.
I'm not Italian.
I could tell by the mustache.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, if you look at what's underneath, I'm clearly Swedish. You know.
That's what he says, but
that's how it is.
He's afraid of his heritage.
You know those Italians, they're always...
Eli, right?
Can't trust a word out of their mouth.
And they won't stop.
They're very shifty.
Opening their mouth and closing their mouth and opening their mouth and closing their mouth.
So I speak from experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome, Eli. Look at us.
Thank you. Here we are. I know.
We did. I mean, first off, happy Halloween.
I know. It's very appropriate to be here on October 1st.
It's
the start of spooky season.
October 31st or whenever this will air.
Yeah, it's very appropriate to be here October 31st.
Or when does it air, Johannes?
It's very appropriate to be here today in October, spooky season.
You notice how I asked him like a producer question and he immediately got stumped? He was like, I don't know anything about the show.
28th.
28th.
It's great.
Today is October 28th.
Yeah.
And what a month it's been.
It's been an incredible month.
Yeah.
So much has happened. I don't even think we could recap it.
How could we possibly know? It's one of those things, you know?
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good idea.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, Eli, tell me about what your vibe is of Halloween. I think everyone probably assumes you're obsessed with Halloween. They say that about me. I can't
it's
stand
weird.
the holiday.
It's just like a nightmare for me.
Yeah, me too. Because everyone's like showing up to parties and they're like, oh, I'm Eli Roth for Halloween. Is that what's happening to you too?
Well, that happens to me where a lot of people want to cosplay me. Then I try to dress up myself and people tell me how lame my costume is.
That happens to me, Eli.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. Basically, Halloween is like the day off from doing all of this.
Interesting.
Because I'm, constantly covered in blood, dressed up in monster makeup for, 364 days of the year. One day you're like, can I just give it a break? And
Yeah, that
that's usually
sounds
Halloween.
miserable. I couldn't sit in a makeup chair like that. I wouldn't do it.
It's true. No, I'm usually shooting on Halloween. If I'm ever filming on Halloween, like I remember with Cabin Fever, we were shooting on Halloween covered in blood, and that was the most exciting thing.
Yeah, so that must have felt really on brand for that film. Like to film on Halloween, be doing a film like Cabin Fever,
yes. It's a great feeling. If you can time the shoot, we did it with House of the Clock in its Walls, where we were doing exploding pumpkins outside this house covered in guts. So all the neighbors in the neighborhood were coming by to watch the movie that was shooting on Halloween, but you had drunk Avengers showing up at midnight because we were shooting on a night shoot.
Yeah.
So we're doing the exploding pumpkins. We looked around at all the people kind of watching us, and it was mad monster party. It was great. It was totally surreal. Everyone went out trick-or-treating. The adults went out and got drunk, and then everyone was hanging out on the street watching us film.
Well, Eli, I wanted you to feel at home, and I wanted you to
right
feel
at home.
special.
No, I actually
bring
feel
in
like
the
I'm in my
exploding
bedroom.
guts. Everybody, the exploding guts. Johannes, did you get the exploding guts like I asked?
No, you didn't tell me to get.
You didn't get the extra large throat or the exploding guts? Really, Johannes? You're going to do this in front of Eli Roth?
What kind of podcast are you running here, Johannes?
What kind of podcast are you running? His answer, not a good one. Not a very good one.
Not one with exploding guts, that's for sure.
Did you love Halloween growing up, Eli?
It was the most important thing growing up. I mean, it was like Christmas for me. Everyone knew that I was the Halloween kid. I was the only kid that would go to school in monster makeup because then it started Halloween. Now it's spooky season. Now Halloween basically starts in August.
It does, yeah.
But when I was a kid, it was one night and that was it. It was October 31st. So, kids would go home and kids didn't come to school in costume back then, but I was the kid that absolutely did. And it was hard to get monster props. It was hard to get fake cobwebs and things like that. So I would spend all year, and if you found it in a store, you'd get it and hoard it. And I would completely do up our house, with scary music and dress up the lawn. But that wasn't done. There was one house there's really one house in our whole neighborhood that did it because it was hard to get this stuff.
So there wasn't a spirit Halloween next to every Costco like there is now.
No, Halloween is now the second biggest holiday to Christmas in terms of the house spend. I've really looked into this. The average house, I think Christmas it's $250. Halloween is $190 per household. that
Oh my
people spend.
God.
It's a lot. It's probably gone up since I last fact checked that 4 years ago. But that's the thing is everyone is into it now. Halloween is super mainstream. Back then it was just for kids. But of course we grew up with it and had no intention of letting it go. Like video games, like heavy metal, like wrestling, like all the things that
Those are my three favorite things.
That's it. All the things you're supposed to. That's it. All the things we were supposed to grow out of. Horror movies, wrestling, heavy metal, Halloween. We just found ways of making livings out of it.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to become a premier Goblin metal band front Goblin, a first ever Goblin pro wrestler, and I'm just trying to create the Halloween vibes year round now. That's kind of my thing.
I know. Well, look, I wore my Goblin t-shirt for you.
You want a Goblin t-shirt?
This is a Goblin t-shirt. Yeah, I got this at the Goblin show.
I was gonna wear my Eli Roth t-shirts, but it's got blood all over it.
Yeah, well, that's, they
I took it to the Guar show, and they were just like, we know what to do with this.
Yeah, it's probably looked clean at the Guar show.
Yeah, that's right. They were like, there's not enough, actually.
But that was the thing is growing up, you didn't want it to end. And the last time I had that sensation was maybe the first time I went to Halloween Horror Nights, where it was the last night of Horror Nights, and this is like 25 years ago. It was one of the earliest Horror Nights, and I walked through the House of a Thousand Corpses maze, and I just hadn't felt like that emotional. And everyone was screaming, and I was just sitting there like I was like crying. I was teary-eyed. I was so sad that it was over. November 1st for me was the saddest day of the year. That's why I made Thanksgiving, was I wanted to have a horror movie for November for people to look forward to, because I couldn't take the feeling of Halloween being over.
Let's talk about Thanksgiving.
Let's talk about it.
Not the holiday.
The horror movie.
The horror movie.
Yeah.
The slasher.
Yeah.
What? Tell me first, like, what I love about horror and metal, and what I think they share in common, is there are 37 subgenres, and everyone thinks their subgenre is the coolest. Tell me about what defines a horror film, and then to you, what makes a slasher?
Well, that's a very good question. I
Thank you!
I think a horror
Good night,
film,
everybody. Johannes, cut.
there's like the difference between the thriller and a horror film. A thriller, it's suspenseful while you're watching it, but it's like you're on the edge of your seat, and then it doesn't stay scary after the movie's over. A horror movie can haunt you for years. A horror movie can go into supernatural territory and traumatize you. It will scar you for life if you see it at the wrong age at the wrong time, which I think is the right age at the right time. But a thriller is scary in the moment, and a horror film crosses that line where it's scary forever. Now, it's never as scary as the first time you see it. The problem with horror is that it's like when you put on your Goblin cologne, that first spritz, you're like, wow, that's really powerful. But after a while, you get used to it. It always gets a little less potent every time you use it. That's a horror movie. So the circumstances under which you watch it that first time, the haunted house is never as scary the second time through. So that first time you see a movie, that's why it's so great to see it in a theater on a big screen when you don't know what's going to happen. If someone says The Exorcist is the scariest movie and you watch it on your phone, you're going to go, that's not that scary. And it will never be, because now you know what's happening. I also love these, there are always these wrap-ups at the end of the decade or end of the year of the 10 scariest horror movies. People are like, I went back and rewatched The Ring. It wasn't that scary. Or Hostel was not really that scary now. But of course it's not scary, because you've seen it before, and other things have come out that have taken from these other movies. So I think that with horror, it is this special thing that the circumstances under which you watch it really can affect your experience. Like, I remember going to see Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which is now sort of a campy cult classic, but at the time we didn't know what this was going to be. And I had made, I'd colored plastic Freddy fingers with like a silver Sharpie, and I kept them in my jacket so that no one would see me. See it with a bunch of girls, and I was just waiting for Freddy, just sitting with that anticipation. I went, wah, and pulled it out in the theater, my plastic Freddy knives, and everybody screamed, and it was one of those most fun memories. And that's what great horror movies do. But in particular, I have a soft spot for slasher movies. Probably because I grew up in the golden age of slashers with Halloween and Friday the 13th, and I was of that age where we started rooting for the killer. And that really started, I think, with probably Friday the 13th Part 3, where everyone, once he put the hockey mask on, because Jason doesn't even have the mask until Part 3. And it was really Freddy Krueger, because Freddy, started making puns, because Schwarzenegger was making puns. Every time Arnold was sorry, I let him go. So Freddy's like, have a knife day. Suddenly the killer could speak, and he would make, welcome to prime time, bitch. Suddenly you're like, wow, I didn't realize we're supposed to laugh at what the killer's doing. So that's when horror, I started loving these movies and the holiday slashers. Every time they were like, hey, there's Friday the 13th, which isn't a holiday, but kind of became one. But then we watched April Fool's Day and Mother's Day.
Home Alone!
Father's Day. And suddenly you're I remember Mad Magazine had a parody called Arbor Day that had this font that was the font from Mad Magazine, the Mad Slasher movie issue. I think it was 1981 that it came out, where they had a whole thing of a horror movie called Arbor Day. And that really stuck with me. Wow, you could take any holiday and turn it into a horror movie. And growing up in Massachusetts, which is great for horror because it's got the Salem witches, it is amazing fall.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool. The dead trees, the leaves.
Very
turning,
scary
apples.
fans too. I don't know if you ever met a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, they're
terrifying.
And I know that because I am one. The mass hole's the worst. So
Yeah.
I think all my horror movies come from growing up in Massachusetts or the piss trough at Fenway Park, which anyone of my generation has traumatic memories of. But growing up there, just watching, we would just wait for Thanksgiving because it was like everybody celebrated Thanksgiving. And there was Halloween, and then there was Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Black Christmas. And we're like, where's the Thanksgiving slasher movie? Now we know sort of why the studios never made one. But back then, we were waiting every year until nobody had done it. We're like, well, fuck it, we're going to do it. Like when we were 12 years old, we would think like you could have the parade and someone's in a turkey mascot and you could chop their head off and they run around like a turkey with their head chopped off. It was so obvious to us that like it was my life's dream to complete the calendar because there was New Year's Evil, My Bloody Valentine, Leprechaun, April Fool's Day, Mother's Day. Then it's just every...
So in a way, you were saying, I really resonate with what you were saying about horror movies is like, it's something that continuously haunts you.
Yeah.
Like even after you, like let's just say hypothetically, like I leave the podcast studio, there's still a bit of the show that's haunting me at all times. It's
true.
like no matter what I'm doing, there's like this thing, and it won't stop following me and haunting me.
Yeah, I know. It's
Very interesting. And so in your slasher Thanksgiving, when you decided who the killer was going to be, I always wondered about this because I saw Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give it away for anyone that's seen it because you don't get it back, as Eli Roth says. But I was surprised. I was very surprised.
You got.
Yeah, I got. I did. I wonder, do you like choose it and work backwards when you're writing it? Or do you know the whole time? And how do you decide who's going to make the best killer of your characters?
These are great. These are really good questions.
Johannes!
Really good.
Wait, no, we're not recording yet. Oh my God. Johannes,
Yeah.
He's complimenting me. We're not recording?
No, well, hold on.
All right, just hold it. Right now, I have with me writer, director, actor, amazing, Eli Roth. Okay, see, now compliment me again now that we're recording.
Oh, these are really great questions.
Oh, thank you, Eli Roth. Wow.
Someone who truly understands horror.
Yeah, the slasher king is in his throne, and he likes what I'm asking him. Okay, continue.
So I love. So when you're writing a slasher movie, you're often thinking first you watch every single one of these movies, and you know that they're usually in a small town. It's a group of suspects. And is it the boyfriend? Is it the mom? Is it the sheriff? Is it the dad? Is it the old guy at the store? Is it the older brother that's away at college? Like there's certain types. And part of the fun of the movies is knowing that the audience knows and they're watching every scene going, looking for clues, going, is that the killer? Is that the killer? Is that the killer? So it's the misdirect. It's going, I'm going to let you think this is the killer, or I'm going to just say it so obviously there's no way you think this is the killer, and then do all these little misdirects. Now, casting the movie is really tricky because there are certain actors that come in that are great, but if they're 6'5", they're not going to get the part. Like, for example, one actor came in and he was amazing, but I was like, I can't cast you because everyone's going to know you're not the killer because there's too much of a size difference. Like you're too physically imposing. Like you're a great actor and you're going to be like obviously, and now he's starring in movies. So,
Yeah.
But
Daniel Day-Lewis was his name.
Exactly. So it is a thing where you need to cast everybody roughly the same height and build that are going to be your lead suspects.
So if you're about 6 foot tall and have a dad bod, is that a good fit for a killer?
Well, yes,
Okay,
but
okay,
if the
okay.
killer can't really, if they run up a flight of steps and kind of get winded a little
Yeah.
bit, if it's
Yeah.
a little bit tough, if they can
And-
do like 1 or 2 pull-ups.
Yeah, and
they're
if the
like, "We're
killer's
done."
always interrupting like a really good interview and has
Yeah.
like no charisma, it's probably not going to work out. But continue,
Yeah.
Eli. Yeah.
So I like to, I mean, you sit there and you go, okay, all right, like we're going to do, a slasher film. Who is the killer going to be? And you sort of know from the initial kill, like there's got to be, one of the things these movies has is the inciting incident. and then cut to a time period later. And everyone that was involved from that incident is now being picked off because they're culpable in some way. So if you need to have that kind of great opening kill of what is the thing that sort of kicks off why everyone's being picked off. What is the, what is that? That was the trampling at Right Mart. So you have everybody that's there and all the people that are connected and think like, who could possibly be? You just kind of run through all the different scenarios. Like, what's the most fun and what's going to be something that's satisfying and not just like explaining it, but like, oh, that was great. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't see it coming, and that was a really good killer. That was a great twist. I didn't see that coming.
That's what I thought. That's what I said out loud, verbatim, when I was watching Thanksgiving.
I love that.
And I wonder because in slashers are the ones that I see, and especially Thanksgiving and like, the screams, I Know What You Did Last Summers, they're just people.
Yes.
Whereas, let's say, a Freddy or whatever, like we're dealing with someone that is in your nightmares or whatever. But I think what makes a slasher really scary is you can kind of, base it in reality a little bit and say, well, this could happen.
Halloween and Friday the 13th were real until they weren't. It was
No, those are movies, Eli. Yeah, that's actually, they're not documented.
I
do this. It happens to me all the time. No, it's a guy, I saw the making of it. He's like, I forget the name of the actor, but it's an actor actually playing him.
Yeah.
But, I understand. I think movies feel real, too. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are like, The Avengers was a movie. It's like, but I'm texting Hulk.
Right.
I know him, so.
Well, you come at it from a slightly different perspective.
Yeah. That's just Goblin.
You're watching Ghoulies.
Yes.
And it's like, I went to
exactly.
Summer camp with these kids.
Friends of mine, yeah.
But this kind of the supernatural element in slasher films, that was really Nightmare on Elm Street brought that into it. Before that, it was just like, then there's movies that don't explain who the killer is, like Black Christmas, or even Cruising, which is more of a giallo and a thriller than a horror film, which sort of, you're never identified, and that's what makes it scary. And then there's other movies where they don't even bother trying to trick you, and it's just a guy like The Mutilator. I don't know if you're a fan of The Mutilator, but basically there's just like, friends are going to go in a cab, and it's like, oh my God, what happened? It's like, my dad, he just escaped a mental asylum. Then they go up, and it's just like a guy under the thing. It's like, and it's his dad. Like, there's no twist. There's no nothing. He just mutilates people in really fucked up ways. It was originally called Fall Break, but The Mutilator, it's like by axe, by pick, by hook, by, directed by Bloody Buddy Hooker. And there's a hook scene that is like, it's unbelievable. I can't believe Amazon Prime has this movie on. But so that the fun of that movie is the kills are just so nuts you don't care. But then the slasher films like Sleepaway Camp, like that was the fun. April Fool's Day, what is the twist going to be? Who's the killer going to be? And then sometimes, but now that everybody's seen it so many times, we have to come up with a new mask, a new mythology, a new holiday. And that was the challenge. And that's what was fun. I loved it. But even Hostel, Cabin Fever, Hostel 2, Green Inferno, Knock Knock, a lot of my films were very grounded in reality. They weren't supernatural kills. There was never a supernatural element to it.
Is that something you actively choose, though? Like when you're looking at projects, you want it to have some kind of grounded in reality?
It's not that. It's that when I think about the stuff I want to see, I'm like, oh, this should be really, really fucked up. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Or Pieces, Cannibal Holocaust. Exactly. Like I love Evil Dead. By the way, I love Demons by Lamberto Bava.
Oh, I can introduce you to one.
I'd love. Please set me up.
My buddy, he's absolutely insane. We could call him right up. He's down there right now.
Let's pull him up.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do a little seance. We'll bring him on. That'd be fun.
Bobby Lee, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Bobby Lee. You know him.
By the demon. That is a demon.
Took my role in your film, by the way. I can't
Bobby
believe.
Load?
Yeah, I don't know if you know that we were up for that together.
Yeah,
they were saying looking for a Bobby Lee type. I got the call. My agent called me,
and then that was it. We actually got the ultimate Bobby Lee type.
That's it.
Bobby Lee, Bobby's great. So Bobby, he's great. Is he more goblin than demon though? Is the question.
Oh, that's a really good. He's way more troll.
Way more, yes, for sure.
Way more troll. But
he's got like mixed kind of. It's like goblin, troll, demonic.
It's kind of like all in one kind of thing. I agree. But you you do search for that kind of stuff in your films?
I like reality-based horror. It's just my taste. And when I have an idea, when I do something supernatural, I'm always like, it's a little goofy. But, there are directors that do it really, really, really well. Like anytime James Wan does something creepy, it's just going to be really scary. Or the way like Ari Aster did creepy in Hereditary. So that my stuff, I can do it, and I'm interested in that. I think that after Green Inferno, I needed a break. So that's why I went sort of like with the kids horror, with PG, fantastical Amblin horror with House of the Clock in its walls, where I could do, it was more magic and spooky. That was like, but it was for 8-year-old kids. I wanted gateway horror that kids could, have a warm-up movie right before they go to Hostel 2. It's like House of the Clock in its walls, Hostel 2. Cannibal Holocaust.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Happy Halloween! Spooky season is here, and there's no better time to go to Squarespace.com.
You know what I was thinking about?
and
How around this time of year, like Halloween, we have a lot of web in our sites, like websites, because people decorate with spider webs, and then we see it, the sites.
Oh my God. I can't believe you interrupted me for that. And then on top of that, you were like trying to explain it to me, like, what I
thought it was...
Just go to squarespace.com and you'll be able to, you know what, Johannes?
What?
I'm not going to let that go. Okay?
So
now, you know what? You just earned yourself time out. To the corner. To the corner. Bad Italian. With Squarespace, you'll be able to build a website that truly suits your needs. If you want to offer services like events, experiences, or consultations, then Squarespace has got you covered. They'll help you showcase your services in the best way possible with an astonishing, fully customizable website. They'll also help you streamline your workflow with built-in appointment scheduling, and you'll be able to send professional on-brand invoices and get paid all in the same place. What do you think of that joke? That's right. Squarespace also makes it easy to upload videos, allowing you to share your expertise and engage with your clients. If you want to offer online courses, you can organize your content in a stunning video library and even put it all behind a paywall. So, go to squarespace.com for a free trial, but when you're ready to launch, make sure you use that offer code right now to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I just know this. Go to Squarespace, because we'll have a lot of webs in our sites this Halloween season. Johannes! I just came up with a new joke. Come in here. Yeah, never mind. You wouldn't get it. What's a holiday, Eli, that hasn't been tackled yet that you think might make a good horror film?
I'm going to do it, and I'm going to announce it on this podcast. So that no one else does it, or if anyone does it, they're going to go, Eli, they stole it from Eli, and Eli will...
Yeah, thank you. Perfect.
Yeah, I will send a serial killer after them. Like, I'll have them get mutilated.
Yeah, and it's not going to be who you think.
No, okay. Exactly. No, I swear, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to put it out, and I'm announcing it now. I'm going to make a movie called Leap Year Massacre.
Okay, I already like it.
And it's like,
and you watch it every 4 years?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, but I'm going to release it. There's a leap year in 2027 that I can put it out. February it lands on a Friday.
All right.
So, for 365 days of the year.
Yeah.
But on the 366.
Yes.
And it's about a cop.
I'm already in. We'll be in.
At Leap Year Massacre, that every 4 years the killer just goes on a crazy killing spree.
Oh, I like this.
And they're like, and you have the cop, and they're like, he's got to be 13 years old by now.
Yeah.
Like the killer, like we're looking for a 16-year-old.
Yes.
Like there's a cop that they're like, I first met this killer when he was 5 years old. Like,
yes.
Like it's a rookie cop who has been trying to catch the killer. And every 4 years, like no one believes him because people forget about the crime. Like he can only try and catch him on February 29th. So he's like really on edge. And now they're like, in the opening scene, it's like a 63-year-old cop. And they're like, got bad news, Ralph. You have 3 years and 11 months to live. And he's like, what? And he's like, he basically has to catch him.
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's like, are you sure? It's like, no, this is completely terminal. We've done every scan. You are going to die in just under 4 years. And like, you have 3 years, 11 months, 3 weeks, and 6 days to live. He's like, no, I can't. You got to keep me alive for one more day. I've got it. He's like, no, that's it. He's like, I got to catch him this year or that's it. Like, his life will be ruined. Like, the leap year killer has like, this guy's like an alcoholic, cigarette smoker, just like a miserable, grizzled old cop who can't catch the leap year killer, and it's just Leap Year Massacre, and then it's just February 29th, the people are just getting fucking taken out by the killer, and this cop, and then there's someone who like finally believes, like no one believes him. They think it's a coincidence that all these killings are connected. So yeah, Leap Year Massacre.
I love it. And I think like at some point too, like the wife divorced the cop because she was like, Every 4 years, he's a maniac. I can't make any plans. He gets so mad if I make plans. It's like, you know,
and it's because it was the guy's like, he's trying to search all the hospital records for who was born on February 29th.
Exactly.
He never got to have birthday parties.
He's obsessed.
He's like the cop is obsessed with stopping the leap year killer.
Oh, and then I know what the monologue at the end is when you catch the guy, when they finally catch him, and they like, you know, tear off his mask or figure out who it is, you know, and he's like, you know, he's either going to be like in the, I know a lot of times they're either like on a stretcher with like one of those weird foil blankets.
They're like wheeling them out of the house
cold.
right before, the foil blanket. It gets very cold. When you catch the killer, it's like the end of a marathon.
Everyone's got the foil blankets. Everyone's
in
foil
the Boston
blankets.
Marathon. Everyone's in foil blankets. They only see those in marathons and when you catch a slasher.
Yeah, those are only two things.
That's the only time you see the foil blankets.
And the slasher is going to be like, you know, they're going to be like pushing it on him, and he's going to be like, do you know what it's like to have a birthday every 4 years?
Yeah.
Everyone's always asking, what are you doing for your birthday this year? I'll let you know in 2 more years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Do you know what that's like?
He's like, I wanted that Tyco racetrack, but the next time I was 30 years old, like you were all 30.
He's like, I just got my driver's license. And he's like, full gray beard.
No, he's just, exactly. He's just like, do you know what it's like? He's like, finally get the Cabbage Patch Kid in what you consider 40 years old, but it was my 10th birthday. Like, everything's out of whack.
Benjamin Button meets a slasher somehow.
Exactly.
This poor guy.
Like his whole life, he's just been completely tormented by the fact that he never got to enjoy things on his birthday and he was the wrong age, and it's like he couldn't get a driver's license, he couldn't drink a beer. He's like, I couldn't have a drink legally until I was 60. You know, like all of these things that if just his life has been ruined. You know, he's like, I'll never be old enough to drink. That's, you know, like he's like, I'll never be old enough to have a drink. I get carded, and people say your birthday, and you get turned away. He's like, I had to have gray hair. Everyone
is like a stickler about it in his town.
Like, sorry about it. You're, you know,
dude, it's very clear you're not of age yet.
He's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like it says here you're 5 years old.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. You're not old enough to have a drink. It's like, no, I'm 21. It's like, I think you're 6. I don't know what you mean. You just kept like montages of him just going back to the same bar every year, and the guy's like, nope. And he's like, but I'm 27. It's like, I'm 28 now. It's like, no. It says you're 7. No, I'm not 7 years old. Please. So it's just like you go into the guy's backstory of his life being ruined by leap year, or that person isn't the killer. It's someone killing on their behalf. Like that's the fun. Is you know, like
really pull the rug out from him.
Yeah, like, and then the people that like want to end leap year, like, why is there a February 29th? It doesn't make sense. But
you just reveal that the real killer just has a birthday on Christmas, and they're like, do you know what it's like when everyone's getting Christmas presents and they don't separate you with your birthday presents? Like, those are the 2 worst birthdays.
That's the worst. Yeah, but
and they bonded.
But leap year massacre, you do it, and then like, you know, you'd have to do the next one 4 years later, and you'd call it like leap year 5 because it was a leap year, and like we never got to make 2, 3, and 4 because we couldn't have leap year, so we just went right from 1 to leap year 5, and then the next one's like leap year in space, like leap year. Like, that's the whole thing.
This is a franchise, and I am into it. You heard it here right now.
You heard it right now.
This is going to be the hit.
I'm outlining it. Like I looked up in the calendar, when is a Friday? What's the next Friday leap year? And it's 2027.
That's plenty of time.
It's plenty of time. I can do
plenty of time.
I can do leap year massacre. I can shoot it any time of the year. It's just it takes place in February. It's leap year. But I love that idea. I'm going to do a fake trailer for it that you're safe for 365 days of the year. You're safe. But on the 366, watch. People just getting killed. Leap year massacre.
It's going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Again, if you need some, average body, 6 feet tall.
If you need someone to, while you're shooting, go fiddle with all the cameras and kind of be a distraction. Yeah, you got a great one over here. I tell you what, Johannes, I feel amazing.
Yeah, why?
I'll tell you why. I just got some new jeans. They're perfect.
Yeah.
In fact, I would call them the perfect jeans.
You mean the perfect gene?
Oh, now there's a name for a company that should sponsor us. I'll tell you what I need. I need a pair of pants that's versatile. They need to be sleek enough so I can go to my office job and Brad won't be like, oh, it's not Friday. You can't wear jeans in the office, John. I need them to be podcast ready. Got me on my toes to improvise or, carry a guest on my hump. And of course, when I'm on stage rocking out with my band, Nekrogoblikon, they gotta be flexible. I like to do my dances, my rock lunges, my jumpies.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these bad boys, Johannes.
Wow.
What I really like about them is they look great with sneakers or with boots. Look at these little gobs. Not to mention, they got so many sizes. For you tallies and for you tiny folk. Isn't that right, resident short queen Dave?
Johnny, these things are incredible, man. I went with the athletic den khakis, which got a bit of stretch to them. Look at this, for you rock stars on stage, do some lunges in these things. Look at these things, Johnny. I mean, it's a short king's dream. They go all the way as short as 26 inches in the length. So look at us. Got the same pants now. I even bought your shoes. It's almost like we're the same person.
No, we're not. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectgene.nyc or go on The Perfect Gene and use code RightNow15 for 15% off. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectgene.nyc with promo code RightNow15. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. F your khakis and get the perfect gene. So you're such a student of horror films. I wanted to get your thoughts on some horror tropes.
Sure.
Okay, so we're gonna play a little game called Trick or Treat with horror tropes, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna name a horror trope, and I want you to tell me if you find it to be an absolute treat and you love the trope, or you find it, you know what, I could do without it. This one's a bit of a trick. You don't
Got
need
it.
this horror trope.
Okay.
All right? First horror trope is the final girl. Okay, this is the lone female survivor who is often the last to face the killer.
I am a fan of the Final Girl. I think that if you're going to do a Final Girl now, everyone's done, there's been movies called Final Girls. People are like, there's such an awareness of the Final Girl. But obviously, I love it because I did it in Thanksgiving. And it's very satisfying because it gives you the power to think like, well, they're going to get physically overpowered by, a slasher, and the slasher's often a guy, but sometimes it's a crazy mom. But you want to know, how do you beat them? I mean, a lot of people, I know slasher films are particularly popular with girls because they're watching it as like a how-to guide to beat the killer if they
Living your life as a woman in 2025 is like living in a slasher film.
It is living in a slasher. Well, there's always the danger of being there's always the danger of being overpowered in any situation. I think that's why I like serial killer movies, slasher movies. Women like them because they're like, they've always been in that situation where they're like, every guy could potentially overpower you. So if you're alone in a parking lot and your keys and there's someone bigger, that person, you hope they're not a threat, but they can be a threat. So it taps into a very primal fear.
See, I thought
that's where it's great, is you watch how they beat them. They're watching the final girl going, oh, this is how I get out of it.
See, I thought that was the only thing I had a problem with Thanksgiving, because I was trying to put myself in their shoes, and I won't give it away, but if I were them and I found out who the killer was, I would have been like, whatever you need, I understand. I just think like that part was like, I would have been like, yo, you can slash me, So
yes, there are some movies where that scenario has arisen, and I've been watching it with a girl, and she'd be like, if that killer showed up at my house, I'd be psyched.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
I was like, the Scream. They were just like, which hunk did it? And I was like, any of them will do. All right, so how about this one? Isolation. This is like when you're in like a remote setting of some kind. Trick or treat.
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 It's got to be a great isolation. I mean, you talk about The Thing, Evil Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff where you're just completely Dream Eater, the movie that is now in theaters.
That's right.
That is a fantastic isolated location. It's beautiful in the snowy mountains.
Let's
in
do a quick
Canada.
sidebar because I do want to talk about this.
Yes.
You saw this film and what was your experience like when you first saw it?
I saw there was a social media post that someone had done because this movie had played at film festivals, and they said Dream Eater fucking rips, and I had to look up what that meant, but I assumed it was enthusiastic.
Yeah, kind of sounds like an old 70s synth band, you know, like, you ever seen Dream Eater? You know?
So I looked up the movie, and the clips from it just looked really scary, and it was a found footage movie, but it looked like one of the ones like Blair Witch, Wreck, Paranormal Activity. Like it looked VHS. Like it looked legitimately terrifying. So I contacted the filmmakers and I said, I just wrote them and I said, can I see this? They were like surprised that I'd even heard of it because I've started this new company called the Horror Section. It's like a mini studio to make and release my own movies.
So you just real quick. These are like some independent filmmakers.
Yes, they made a movie for $40,000.
They made it for $40K.
That they self-financed.
Can you just put yourself in their shoes? They get a call from Eli Roth. That's gotta be like they're like, oh, you know,
They thought it was
that's
fake.
gotta be.
They didn't believe it.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm sure.
So I wrote them through Instagram, and they were like, "This is got to be
a
like
robot.
joke account."
Yeah.
So, but I said, "No, I want to see it." Then, like, I spoke to them, and they sent me a link, and I watched it, and I was like, "This is excellent. Like, do you guys have distribution?" And they said, "Well, no, we don't. We haven't even really shown it yet." And I was like, "I want to release this. Why don't we put this in theaters?" And they couldn't believe it. But they're so nice. They have this team. They call themselves Blind Luck, and it's a directing trio, and two of them star in the movie. And they went out, and the two leads in the movie, they had done a little acting, but they never really acted like this before. But I asked them why, and they said that every actor that they went to, they would read the script and go, "Oh, wait, I have to do this, I have to do that." And they were like, "We're never going to get anyone to do this. We should just do it ourselves." Because the stuff they do in the movie is so real and so crazy that you're like, "Oh, yeah, they couldn't even ask another person to do it." And that's what wins you over, is that the scares are so legit. I watched this movie and I was like, I have to turn the lights on. The last 15 minutes, I think, are the scariest of any movie of 2025. I would put the last 15 minutes of Dream Eater up against any movie released this year, and I think it's scarier. And when you can pull off the scare for no money, that's when you know it's like really, really talented filmmakers. When they can do it without any special effects, any stars, makeup, or anything, you're just like, this is legitimately terrifying. It's so hard, and I hadn't been that scared in a long time. I hadn't watched a movie where I'm legitimately dreading what's going to happen next. It sucks you in like that. So it's like, if you want to see a movie, don't read anything about it, just go see it. It's a small release, but this is the kind of movie that I want to help support.
I love that. And what do you think goes behind the psychology of making a good jump scare? Because this movie has some. I didn't see it, but I made him see it.
No, you did. You didn't even watch it.
Well, they sent me a link, and I sent it to you, and I said,
Well, yeah,
"Watch this."
I
and
watched
then
it. Yes.
Give me the cliff notes. And
The cliff.
did you?
Well, no, but I mean, it was great, and you didn't even. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
All right.
It was.
He didn't do his
it-
homework.
it-
I'm
it-
so
Last
sorry.
15 minutes was amazing.
Yeah,
for sure.
see, that's the thing is, I wanted to honor what you said and not watch it, you know, just like on my phone or whatever.
No, it's not going to be the same.
I'm living in a Waymo right now,
Yeah.
so I don't even think I could watch it in there.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, so I wanna watch
the
it in a
sound in the
theater.
Waymos is terrible.
I'm honest.
It's not good.
I did see Avatar in a Waymo, but it was just too much effects for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was in the Avatar Waymo,
Yeah,
which
oh,
makes you feel like
interesting.
you're actually in Pandora.
Yes.
That was pretty good. The Avatar Waymo
You just hook
experience.
yourself up.
You just like
yeah,
plug
they charge
in.
you.
You're just like
Yeah.
It drains your spinal fluid, but it's
Yes,
totally worth it.
it's
James
really
Cameron
fun.
is a genius with technology like that.
I love that. So, what makes a good jump scare in your mind?
I mean, jump scares, if you do too many of them, the audience will turn on you because it's an involuntary reaction and you're feeling that. It's like when someone makes a loud noise, you go, "Whoa, you got me," and do it again. It's like, it hurts. It's like getting the hiccups. Like it's funny at first, and then you're like, this is really annoying. So with a good jump scare, you know it's coming. You're telling the audience it's coming. Like you're opening the mirror, you're closing the mirror. You open the mirror to get something out, and then you close the mirror and there's nothing. You know, like the audience knows, they're like, okay, the filmmakers know a jump scare is coming. Or and you do it and you get them, and then they go, and then there's a second one. It's complete misdirect. It's like you have to misdirect the audience into either not like lulling, like forgetting that it's coming, or paying attention to something else. But if you just blast too many noises, then people start to get annoyed. They're like, oh, you don't have anything else. Like you're relying on jump scares. You want jump scares that's fun, but you don't want to feel that the movie relies on it. And Dream Eater's got some fantastic jumps, but it's got like a really, really great like sense of dread and sequences that are like legitimately terrifying. Like I think about the end of Paranormal Activity, the last shot, the last 10 minutes of Blair Witch. The last 5 minutes of Wreck is just the hands down the scariest found footage, that last shot. And so, I talked to the team about it, about kind of like, adding a scene that could have that feeling, and they did. It's really incredible. I think they really stuck the landing.
I'd also say that Dream Eater is one of the best depictions of a relationship where both people are in the film industry.
Yeah.
Where you're just
true.
out of money, no work, and completely desperate.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's real, and they go, and the relationship is real. I mean, I think that what these guys did is they just made a movie that delivers on the scares. Like does them, for me, when I judge a movie, does it deliver on its promise? Does it give you the goods? Like, I am here for this. Does it do that? Anything else that's wrong with it, I can forgive if it delivers on what you want. And this delivers on the scares. I was so impressed. I was like, this is a treat for fans. For October, there's like, if you want to see something that's legitimately terrifying, bone-chilling, go see it. Look, eventually it'll be out there on VOD and streamers, but
Don't wait!
But it's also, the fun is discovering it. The most scared you're going to be is seeing it in a theater.
They should watch it
right now.
That's right!
Also, it gives me the ability to release more movies like it. If this movie performs at the box office, it's easier for me to go to AMC and Regal and go, hey, I've got the next Dream Eater. If the movie dies at the box office, then it's like, well, the last one didn't do well. We don't want to do another one. So it's not just that I want to do it. You have to convince the exhibitors to put it in their theaters as well.
What do you think it is about horror, the genre? Because I have a lot of comedians on. They're constantly talking about how the comedy movies of the 90s are gone and dying. But when I go to the theater,
packed.
I see like 7 or 8 trailers, and a good portion of them are horror. What is it about horror that is surviving the movie apocalypse?
Why are we the cockroaches of the movie apocalypse?
Yes.
I will tell you. You can get a laugh on your phone.
True.
A legitimate laugh.
Yes.
Like people are watching cat videos. Which
are hilarious.
Hilarious. I have a young daughter, newborn baby, and my wife will watch TikToks of dad stuff and mom stuff and be laughing on the phone. So you can get that experience on your iPad. You can watch, everyone's watching right now. They'll be watching podcasts, laughing.
The number one comedy podcast in the world.
They'll be laughing at comedy, but they're getting it on their phone.
Interesting.
You cannot get the adrenaline rush. When you see a scare, it's an adrenaline rush. It's like being on a roller coaster. It's like you can't do Coachella on your phone. You have to be there. I
did do it on my phone, though. Actually, you can't do it. But what I was going to say is the phone Cella, it wasn't very good.
It's not as good. If you want to do, VR Burning Man isn't the same.
No.
So the adrenaline rush of a horror movie, you can only get at the theaters. And it's also fun to go with your friends. You want to get out of the house. You can't get that. If you are a horror junkie, the rush you feel seeing a movie in the screen, you cannot get it from your television or your phone. You can watch the movie, you could pirate it, but then the thing you're seeking, which is that adrenaline rush, you cannot pirate the adrenaline rush.
Round of applause, round of applause, round of applause. Yeah, I agree. And there's something about a theater that just naturally, all of the settings are right.
Yes.
For horror.
Yeah,
right?
Dark.
It's dark.
Creepy.
It's like you're all in a room. You're not trapped in it, but the doors are always through a thing, and they're and the sound is such a huge part of horror films. You know, those creepy music, the big jump scares, and you gotta have the proper, I feel like I work for a movie theater. We gotta get a movie theater sponsor.
Oh yeah.
No,
Cinemark or something, yeah.
No way.
Sound is 50% of the movie. I mean,
sound is 50% of the movie.
and sometimes you need like, look,
I would say there's sound probably 100% of the movie, unless you're
yes.
but I do sometimes when
you're
I'm watching on my phone,
hearing-
I'll hit it and I'll be like, why aren't they talking? And then I'm like, yeah. So I get what you're
I
saying.
will
know what I'm
say,
saying.
like Dream Eater, amazing sound. The whispers, there's like a little scary sound hook that happens, which is the kind of stuff that I love.
Oh, it's great. No, they spent so much time on the sound design and the score. And, you know, we saw it the other night in the theater, and people were like crawling under their seats because the sound was so scary. And sometimes it's lack of sound. Like, I want the audience dead silence so you could hear a pin drop. Like in Thanksgiving, there's a scene where we had a whole chase through the school where the girl's like on her phone and doesn't realize the killer's behind her. And I had like Brandon Roberts, my composer, did a really, really great sting. But I was like, it's like too much sauce. Like, I like making pizza. And, you know, I'm sure our Italian chef can relate
Chef
to that.
Boyardee over here. He's like, if it's in a can, you know.
My wife is from Florence, and so she'll make so we make like pizza from scratch, and she'll make the
Wow.
jars. And the first pizza I did, I was like, they never put enough cheese on it, and I put so much cheese on it that I didn't realize there was so much water in the mozzarella. It collapsed the center of the crust, and you're left with like a steering wheel with everything stuck to the bottom of the pizza oven. And my wife's like, and she's spinning, and she's like, you need just the right amount of sauce, just the right amount of basil, just the right amount of mozzarella, and then it's perfectly balanced. And I was like, oh my God, this is like making a horror movie. Because if you put in too much gore, it doesn't make it scarier. Sometimes it just crosses over into goofy. If there's not enough gore, you're like, where's the gore? And if it's just the right amount, people are like, I can't even watch that. Oh my God, that was so fucked up. Is there a director's cut? Is there more? So you find that in music, in that making a horror movie is like making a pizza, in that you have to have all the ingredients, but sometimes it's too much. It doesn't mean if you layer it with scary music, it's going to be scary. It's suddenly not scary. And I found that like in the hallway, I just had the sound of her footsteps, and then the killer comes out behind her, and there's not even noise of him. And everyone in the theater went, and that gasp becomes the soundtrack. If you're doing it right, everyone in the theater went, like, that's what you want. That becomes the score. And then, you know, he swings the axe, and it's like, dun, 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 you know, that kind of bombastic slasher music. So the fun is experimenting when you get the scare right, and everyone, like, the truth is, as a director of horror movies, if you do your job right, no one should be watching the movie. That if you do the lighting, the casting, the makeup, the scares, the music, the sound effects, everything is perfect. People are watching it they're like watching it, cringing it through their hands, covering their ears under the seat. And the highest compliment you can get is, I couldn't watch your movie. So ultimately, if you make the ultimate horror movie, no one should ever be able to watch it.
See, thank you for saying this, because this applies to me and my new stand-up comedy act, which I was telling Johannes, because everyone is going like this and plugging their ears,
Right.
and this guy's going, oh, they don't think you're funny.
It's
I was like,
no.
pretty sure.
Because comedy and horror are two sides of the same coin.
That's right. You
Because
don't want people
it's
watching or laughing at your comedy,
But a
Johannes.
laugh and a scare are involuntary reactions. You can't force the reaction.
That's right.
It literally just has to come out of you. So you either have it's either scary or it's not. It's either funny or it's not.
Right.
The
It's
only
a-
difference, I guess, is that a horror movie people will still pay to see.
Well, people are getting comedy for
You know what?
free
I
now.
wish you were covered in cheese right now, right? It would sink right through that floor, okay? All right, so we'll say treat. We'll say treat. All right, we'll say treat on that one. Because it's Halloween, I love playing games. So I wondered if before I get you out of here, we play one more game,
Let's do it.
okay? This game is titled Goth or Roth.
Wow.
Here's
I've never
how it's
played
gonna
this
work.
before.
You gotta tell me, I'm gonna read a quote, and you gotta tell me if it's either from some emo band lyric or one of your films you've been involved in. Okay, this might be a movie you directed, maybe you
let's
acted
see.
in it. Who said it? Goth or Roth? You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, wait, and you know what?
Yeah.
We usually have either a reward or penalty. So what do we have this time, Johannes?
Well, I guess because it's Halloween, we're doing a penalty or,
Yeah.
or potentially a reward, I guess,
Yeah.
if you're down for it. We have these Harry Potter beans.
Do you like jelly beans?
I do, but What is it? Are these for rewards or punishment?
That is what we'll
You know
find
what?
out.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make Johannes do it.
No.
Okay? So if you
great-
get it
it's
wrong,
great. Yeah.
Johannes,
Okay. We'll have to
you
eat a
don't. You
jelly
can't
bean.
look. Just dig in there and eat it. Got it?
Okay.
Sure.
It's the least you could do, chef. What do you say?
Yes.
Yes?
Chef.
Yes, chef.
Chef, thank you. Okay, first quote, Eli. Who said it? Goth or Roth? Here we go. Death, death, you're gonna kill me. You're gonna fucking kill me.
I mean, it could be a lyric, but that was the mighty Keanu Reeves in Knock Knock.
Knock, knock.
Yeah, that was
yes.
Nice.
What was? I mean,
Safe.
what'd you like working with Keanu Reeves?
The best.
Yeah.
As advertised. Everything you've heard about Keanu Reeves being the night, it's all true. I mean, you're waiting for the guy to snap. You're waiting for the act. Nope. He was the funniest guy. And I remember the first day I was like, Keanu, what is John Wick? Because nobody knew what this movie was.
That's so funny.
And he just goes, oh man, John Wick, he'll fucking shoot you in the face. I go, is that the plot of the movie? He goes, pretty much, yeah. And he goes, well, no, they fucking kill my dog and I just fucking kill everybody to get to the guy who killed I go, that's the movie. He goes, yeah. And this one scene, I fucking cut, and he acts out the whole club. He's like, I do a double tap. Then I'm in an apartment watching Keanu Reeves do John Wick live for me. It was the best. And he's rolling around on the floor. We're like crying, laughing. He was so funny. He was the best. I love him.
Now that's what'll save Broadway. John Wick live.
It should be.
Sign
Keanu
me
should
up.
do it.
Sign me up.
I have seen it. I should do it.
All right, Johannes, eat
Yeah,
one.
No, what?
Eat one.
He got it.
Johannes, it's a reward now. So smile
Oh,
when
wow.
you eat it.
Sorry, Johannes. Well, he's a chef, so he's
What
just
is
a
it?
taste.
Eat it.
We'll find out, I guess.
Yep, describe it.
Oh, it's like a cherry. Nice.
See your reward.
Reward.
There you go. All right. Now get this next one wrong. Okay, here we go. Goth or Roth? Cut my wrists and black my eyes. I'll be waiting to die.
That sounds very goth.
That's correct. Eat two. Eat two.
Oh, come
That
on.
is from the band Hawthorne Heights. But to be honest, like that could also be in like a lot of slasher films.
Yes, absolutely. That sounds like I could have written that.
I thought that was Papa Roach for a second. Cut my wrist, black my eyes.
Yep.
I'll be waiting to die. But suffocating.
Oh,
It's a slasher.
come
Yeah.
on.
Okay. So here we go. Next one. Goth or Roth. Quote. That guy asked us for help. We light him on fire. Goth or Roth.
That's for sure a Roth.
That is a Roth for sure.
That is Cabin
Fever.
That is Cabin Fever. I was with Jordan Ladd. That guy asked for help. We lit him on fire. You'll
Yes.
understand if I'm not in a particularly social mood. And Jordan and I were so proud of that scene. And then we saw it at the Toronto Film Festival with an audience, and people burst out laughing. We looked at each other. We were like, I guess it's funny. We totally didn't mean for it
That's
to be
so
funny.
funny.
And then after, Jason Constantine, rest in peace, from Lionsgate Company, goes, dude, that one line, we asked that guy for help. That guy asked us for help. We lit him on fire. It was the funniest thing I've heard in a movie in years. I was like, yeah, well, we thought it'd be funny to put that. So now I completely owned it, but Jordan and I totally intended that to be serious.
But there are so many funny lines in that film.
Yes, we had a fun time writing that one. Randy Perlstein and I were laughing while we were writing it.
What film would you say really kind of catapulted you the most early in your career?
Definitely Hostel. I mean, Cabin Fever put me on the map.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, he made a movie. It did well. It was the huge hit for Lionsgate. It's sort of what brought back. Then they bought Saw. Like it sort of helped bring back R-rated horror and other movies with House of Thousand Corpses and 28 Days Later. It was like a great year, 2003, for R-rated horror. It was like the comeback of R horror. But Hostel was like the first one that was truly.
You said Hostel?
Hostel was mainstream.
I want to cut real quick. Let's just cut real quick. So we're just going to cut that part. And then we're just going to pick it up here. We'll just pretend like, okay.
Sure.
Goth or Roth. We can't rail a girl that's in a coma. Eli, what's this from?
That is from Hostel.
Oh, what's Hostel like?
It is.
What's Hostel like?
Yeah. Hostel.
I would say that probably catapulted you most in your career.
Yes, that was the movie that was my first mainstream #1 box office hit, because I was told you can't have a horror. I was told mathematically this movie cannot make more than $12 or $15 million. It's too violent. It's too sick. And opening weekend, it made 20 million, and people were just shocked. I remember it was in like late night monologues. People were talking about it. It was one of those. That was the moment that I felt like I truly broke mainstream.
And if I read correctly, was this your first kind of intro to working with Tarantino at some level, right?
It was. Quentin loved Cabin Fever, and we became friends over it. And he actually wanted to read the script to Hostel. I told him the idea for Hostel. Actually, I turned down a studio movie. I turned down a Warner Brothers movie, and I was really kind of like running out of money. And I went over to Quentin's house. He invited me to watch movies, and I said, well, he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, well, I turned down this movie, and they offered me more money than I've ever seen in my life to direct it, but I just feel like I can't make this movie good. I don't know what to do. And he goes, well, what ideas do you have? That's what people want to see. And I go, well, I have this one idea, but I think it's too sick. I'm like, what? And I told him the idea for Hostel. He's like, that's the scariest idea I've heard for a movie in 10 years. You've got to write that movie. I'm like, really? I go, what about, if it doesn't make any money? He goes, don't think about opening weekend. Think about that weekend 15 years from now if kids are still watching it at a sleepover. That's the only weekend that matters. He's like, Reservoir Dogs didn't make a fucking nickel. 15 years later, it's a classic. That's the only weekend that matters is 15 years from now. And I said, I want to go write it. And I wrote it in 10 days. And I came back with him. He's like, this is good, but we can make this better. And he's like, I'm going to call movie convenience. He's like, if you haven't written your way out of a scene, if you're using movie convenience, like this guy doesn't know how to use a fucking gun, or maybe he's going to lose his fucking fingers, or how's he going to get out of the handcuffs? Like, what's going to happen? Like, and he just put me through, he's like, what's going to make this movie great is the minutia. It's that you've thought through the level of detail about this place and how the killers go, and do they change, and do they get picked up at the airport? Like, he goes, you don't have to answer it, but we have to know, we, the audience, have to know that you've figured it out. And that's the world building. And I really, he sort of put me through that Tarantino writing school of like putting that bullshit test on every line of the movie, and every detail, and every aspect. So it all had to be completely figured out and completely real. And then at the end, he's like, maybe I'll do this as a Quentin Tarantino Presents. And then there was a moment where the studio wasn't going to release it because they're like, this is too violent, this is too crazy. And the test scores were very low because people were like, what the fuck is this? And Quentin's like, he saw it. He's like, I'll do it. I'll make this Quentin Tarantino Presents. And that changed everything.
What was that like for Eli? Because I know for a fact that little Eli loved Quentin Tarantino. You did a little thing called Restaurant Dogs.
I did. I mean, I was a senior in college, but yes, I was still very much a child.
Yeah. Well, if it was leap years, you'd be like 4. So
yeah, exactly. Good callback. Yeah, no, Restaurant Dogs. It was an homage to Tarantino. I mean, in my student film was Ronald McDonald and his gang on a killing spree, and Mayor McCheese being decapitated. It's out there on YouTube.
I would watch it. I gotta find it.
You can find it. But back then it was 10 minutes, which was considered way too short.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Because they, kids were making 45-minute student movies, which was, they put a time limit eventually. But it was incredible because Quentin, the fact that it was sort of like, it's like, Hollywood's like high school. It's very much like high school. It's like the same behavior of like the quarterbacks and the cheerleaders. It's like the movie stars and the young stars and the studio heads, like the principals. Like there's similar dynamics to Hollywood. And Quentin's like the cool kid, and it's like the cool kid being like, hey, you're riding in my car. And everyone's like, whoa, he's in Quentin's car? I guess he's cool now. Like everyone's like, okay, we can talk to him. You're like suddenly, now that Quentin brands you with the seal of approval, everyone's like, oh, all right, I guess he's cool. So it is interesting. It was the most incredible. It was great. We did Hostel 2, Man with the Iron Fist. We did, and then of course Bastards and Death Proof. It's Quentin's the best. They're like the directors that really took me seriously when I said I wanted to be a director was David Lynch and Quentin Tarantino. Those are the two I learned the most from directing. And Peter Jackson on Cabin Fever, who generously gave me quotes that turned around the whole marketing campaign. So there are those moments in your career with those directors like, Robert Rodriguez, Paul Thomas Anderson, people that were like, I love your work. This is great. Keep going. That it doesn't matter what anyone's saying. It doesn't matter about the body. Like the people that you absolutely, completely admired and worshipped growing up, when they like your movies, that's the coolest thing.
That's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's got to be pretty cool. And you know what else has got to be pretty cool? When you or maybe an emo person said this, I miss you.
Emo.
That was actually Blink-182 and Thanksgiving. That was both of them. That one.
Wow.
No. All right, Eli. I'm going to get you out of here the same way I get everybody out of here. You're going to answer my right now rapid fire questionnaire.
All right.
Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to ask you 5 rapid fire questions, and I just want you to say the very first thing that comes to your mind.
Got it.
It's not a trick, it's a treat.
Okay.
Johannes, finish those jelly beans. Here we go. Are you ready?
Ready.
Left or right?
Right.
West Portland. Favorite genre of metal?
Speed metal.
I do like speed metal, yeah. It's all about just really getting okay. So there's a snail chasing you, Eli. The snail is moving at a snail's pace. It's gonna follow you for the rest of your life. You can move as fast as slow as you want, but the snail will always be moving in your direction. If you touch the snail or the snail touches you, you die. But before you ask, it can swim and survive in any atmosphere. What's your plan to survive the snail?
I am going to hide in a swimming pool and hope that it doesn't throw toasters at me.
Oh, that's a good one. Hide in a swimming pool. Wait, hide in a swimming. Is it empty? Is it full of water?
Yes, it will be a water
So
swimming pool.
you're kind of like maybe on a float. You're just kind of treading water and just like relaxing, enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I'll be in the swimming pool as long as there's no toasters around. I'll be fine.
You ever been to Trader Joe's?
What's that?
You ever been to Trader Joe's?
I have.
All right, then do a round of applause, everybody, for Eli Roth. Wow. And now is your opportunity to promote whatever you got going on to this camera right here, Eli.
Go see Dream Eater in theaters. Now playing. It's really scary. I mean, what these guys pulled off for 40,000 is remarkable. It's one of the most original. And tell me, after you see it, is there anything scarier that you've seen this year than the last 15 minutes of Dream Eater? I think not.
And make sure in 2027
And in 2027 now, buy your tickets on sale in 2.5 years.
Yes.
For Year Massacre.
Yeah. Co-written by John Goblikon.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah. All right, and Eli, I love that you're promoting your stuff, but kind of like Quentin Tarantino did for you. Yes. I wonder if you could take a moment and help mentor me by doing my promotions for me. Would you be okay with that?
Well, sure. What are you promoting?
So underneath your chair or your throat, I wrote you a little script. You know, I am a bit of a writer if you need some punch-ups on leap year.
Wow.
Yeah, so whenever you're ready.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I've never read this before,
but
I'm really going to sell it.
It's a trick.
Okay. Eli Roth promo.
Yeah, there you go.
Knock, knock. Who's there? It's me, Eli Goth. And I want all you inglorious bastards to come see this podcast live at Zanies, Chicago for the 312 Comedy Festival. November 6th sold out, but there are still tickets available for November 5th at 9 p.m. They are going to have killer guests like Jeremiah Watkins. Don't be a dream eater. If you live in New York, go see the live pod November 7th with 2 special guests that are sure to make you shriek. So get those tickets right now.
Round of applause, everybody.
One take.
One take Jake. Or you know what? One take Frank, which they used to call you the Splat Pack.
They did, the Splat Pack.
Which one were you?
Well, Quentin said I was the Frank Sinatra of the Splat Pack.
The Frank.
But I thought I was more the Jerry Lewis.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna say you were Spleen Martin. Yeah. Spleen Martin.